Do you crochet on the go? Because I crochet on the go all the time. And I have bags where I just throw crochet hooks in, and I've had my crochet hooks snap and losing things. So I just think I really need to have a place that I can store my crochet accoutrements. Remember, if you like crochet, if you like art, if you like thrifting, if you like all those things, remember to hit the like and subscribe, put your notifications on. I upload every Sunday. Now for Christmas, I made my friend Liz a little case, a little travel case with a set of crochet hooks that I got from Hobbycraft. So they were pink hooks. I got this really pretty pink wool, and the wool was speckled. And the year before, she'd made me these gorgeous chocolates that were pink and had loads of like cute little speckles on. And the wool looked identical to that. So I chose that, did a yellow inside. And when I was making it, I was like, oh, I need a crochet case. That's what I need. I need that. So I've decided I'm going to make myself a cute little crochet case. Now, the palette that I'm going to go for, obviously, is autumnal. Because your gal, she's an autumnal girl. She loves her autumn colours. She loves her reds. She loves her oranges. She loves her browns. She loves her greens. And that is what I'm going to be doing. The colour palette that I'm going to use is the same palette that I used for my Halloween jumper, which is this. So this is actually a book case that I made roughly in October, just to put one of my journals in. It's actually not finished, I need to get a button to sew onto there to keep it all together. But I'm thinking that these are the colours, these really beautiful autumnal colours. This is what I'm going to use to make this case. Now I need to see how much wool I actually have left in my stash to see what I've got to make this. I love this green, and I'm thinking if I've got enough, I'm going to do the front of the case in this beautiful green. Maybe I'm going to do some striping on it as well. So the inside, I might do a mixture of this orange and this green. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do. What you're also going to need to make this is some cardboard. Now this is just cardboard from a cereal box, and this is to make the case a little bit stiff. When I was making this before, I kind of cut out 2 halves and stitched it inside. So what you're going to have is 2 pieces. You're going to have the piece that is going to be on the outside, and then you're going to have the 2 pieces of cardboard and then the inner part stitched on top. So that cardboard is going to be kind of sandwiched, and it's going to make that case a little bit rigid. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to stitch a zip. So it's a little zip case, and it's going to hold all my little bits and bobs. So one side is going to have a place to have my hooks. So I need to measure it out based on my prim hooks. The other side is going to have a little place where I can keep all of my needles and all of my stitch markers as well. This is just a piece of that Highland Heathers gorse. You know your gal loves some Highland Heathers gorse. So I have this little square, this little patch that I just throw into my bags. This is actually a lunch bag that I use. This is my on-the-go crochet bag. I'm a big Andy Warhol fan, and I just thought this was such a cute bag. And I used to use this to put my lunch in, but it's just too nice to just put lunch in, so now it's my wool bag. I've currently got my current project, which is the neon green raglan on the go. And in here, there's a little zip. And in this zipper, I have my crochet hook that I'm using. I also have 2 other crochet hooks in there as well. I have a 5mm. I have... Oh, actually, I've got this one as well, which is a 3.5. Oh, I've got another, I've got 4. I've got all sorts in here. They're just kind of, I don't even know where these hooks are. I also have my scissors as well. And I think having a safe place to keep these is going to be quite a good idea. Oh God, there goes a crochet hook. And then I also have these amazing stitches, which I forgot to show in my Christmas video. These are off my friend Liz. She got me them for Christmas. And they've got these beautiful little gemstones all on them. So I'm thinking that that will look really, really pretty in there as well. So that is my idea to make my little crochet zipper case. So let's have a look at my yarn stash. These are the wools that I've got left over from the jumper and the book cover that I made. Now I'm going to put these to one side, and I'm going to get out my crochet notebook and find the page where I made the Halloween jumper. All right, so here we are. So these are the swatches. So the black and the orange and the olive, they are all the Hayfield Soft Twist. I've spelled that wrong, as Hayfield actually with an E. So it's the Hayfield Soft Twist in olive, black and copper. And then this green is by Stylecraft, Special DK in lime. I don't know if I'd call that a lime. I'd say that was more of a chartreuse, really. I made a berry out of this and it's absolutely gorgeous. So they're the colours that we're going to be using in this project. By the way, you might hear the a bit of noise in the background. My little boy is in the room with me and he is watching YouTube Kids. So he is in the room. So if you do hear the odd sound, it is him. Right, so let's put a little title here and we're going to write crochet case. And we're going to put some little swatches of our wool in here. Another tool which I think is a must for artists is a penknife. These are just so handy. They have scissors on, little knives, you know, you've got a screwdriver, all these little bits and bobs, things that you need, and they fit so well in your pencil case. All right, so we've got our wool swatches. This is just some glue that I got out of my Row Life kit. I only need a little tiny bit. I'm just putting a little bit of glue between 4 dots. I'm also just going to put a little bit of glue along the, about 1 centimetre away from that first line. And just lay those down. So just leave those to dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start just writing what that wool is. So I'm going to draw out. I'm going to put my pen down, grab pencil. So this is roughly what it's going to look like when it's open. Okay. So this is a very rough sketch. Okay. What I'm going to have, so this bottom piece, I think I'm going to have enough in the green to actually do this. And I'm going to do some striping with it as well. So the base piece, olive green with stripes. Okay, olive green with stripes. And then the middle, sorry, the inside piece, I'm gonna do it in that lime with the pockets in the copper. And you never know, I might do edging, I might not, we will see, okay? So, it's roughly gonna have an inner piece. So when you open this up, it's gonna have that little inner, okay? And then the pockets are gonna be here. And then there's gonna be a smaller pocket at the top. So the top of the crochet hook goes underneath. So I'm gonna draw a little crochet hook here. So we get the impression of what that looks like inside, okay? So that's coloured in, and that's coloured in, okay? I'm also going to have a larger pocket here, and this is where my scissors are going to be. Very rough sketch. And just on the back panel is where those stitch markers will be. Okay, so that gives you a rough idea of what that is actually going to look like. So in between this piece and this piece, there's going to be a piece of cardboard. So if we draw this out, it's roughly going to be the same size as this. So roughly 2 little pieces that are going to be stitched underneath like that. So I'm just going to use a different coloured pen so you get the idea of where that cardboard's going to be stitched. So the green line, the green line is where that cardboard is going to be stitched. This yellow line is going to be the inner panel. So that yellow line is going to be the inner panel. And then you're also going to stitch down here, if that makes sense. So this orange line, I'll just draw right down. That's where it's going to be stitched. I'm also just going to write a description here of what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I wrote is front panel, 2 pieces of cardboard laid on top. Second panel stitched on top, sandwiching the cardboard in the middle. Stitch down the middle to prevent the cardboard from moving. Before stitching the cardboard, stitch a zipper going around when the front panel is stitched on top. This will hide the zipper. Like my plan. So first step to make back panel. We're going to now make our back panel. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using a 3.5mm hook, and we're going to just chain. So we're just going to slip stitch, and now we're going to chain. That is 20 stitches, and I think that is probably as wide as I want to go with this. So I need to double that, so it's going to be 40 stitches. So when you open this up, that's how wide it will actually be. So, okay, I'm just going to bring my journal back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing this in half doubles. And I'm going to do 3 rows, half double. Then I'm going to do 1 row of copper, 1 row lime, and 1 row of black. So 3. So I'm going to write 4, 5, and 6. And then from row 7 to, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to work this up, and I'm going to just see where I'm getting up to, and where I get up to the point where I think I'm going to do the stripe, that's when I'll start filming again. Okay, so I've actually decided I'm going to highlight this little section here. See, this is like cute little ways that you can just make it cute. Simply just by highlighting a title, it just kind of makes it just look a little nicer. It does for me anyway. So I've got to the place where I need to be the last row of stripes. So if I get my crochet hook and show you, this is how much left I've got to do. So that would be a really good size for my crochet hooks. So if I fold it over, that is what it's going to look like. And we're going to have another matching stripe here at the top. I just realised that this kind of doesn't make sense, because I'm reading that as 3 rows and 4 rows of copper. So that does not make sense at all. Okay, so I'm just going to put a cross through this, and I'm going to rewrite it. Okay. Then what we're going to do is repeat. So row 27, 40 copper, half double crochet, row 28, 40 lime, half double crochet, row 29, 40 black, half double crochet, then rows 30 to 32, half double crochet. I'm just going to draw a little rectangle again, so we can just get an idea. 40 half double crochet going this way, and then rows in total. What we're also going to do is we're going to go around in a black edging. So I'm going to write crochet, half double crochet around creating a border. Okay, so that's just my workings out for that. So I'm going to turn to the next page now, and we're going to write down for the inside panel. So I'm just going to do this. Right inside. Okay. So what we're going to want is that panel to just be a little bit smaller than our outer panel. Okay. So obviously we did 40. We're going to do 38. Okay. And we had 32. So we're going to do 30 rows. And we're going to make that in that lime colour, and then we'll go on to making the pockets. Now the pockets I'm just going to make as I go, because to be honest with you, I don't really know what size I'm going to want them until the back piece is actually made. But to give an effect, this is roughly what it's going to look like. So a single pocket there to be stitched on, a smaller pocket here stitched on, and then a mini pocket there. So I'm going to make them as different pieces, and then I'm going to stitch them to that back piece. Then that whole piece will just get attached to that back piece, that outer piece with the stripes. So like I said earlier, I've chosen this chartreuse colour, which is like a sickly yellow, a pukey kind of green. I absolutely love it, but I know that this is a colour that people either love or they absolutely hate. What was really funny was when I was making this, I was also listening to a podcast, the podcast Girls Next Level, which is the rewatch podcast from Holly Madison and Bridget Marquardt of the Girls Next Door. And there was this conversation, I subscribed to the Patreon, and they were talking about when they were children and they would use like colouring pencils. And Bridget was saying that the only pencil that she did not use was chartreuse. And that was the only pencil that stayed sharp through the entire usage of the case. And I just think that's really funny, especially with using this wool and being in the middle of using this making this project. I absolutely love chartreuse, but I do understand it's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. So I managed to finish all of the patches. This right patch, this has been 13 rows of half double crochet. This right hand patch here, this ended up being 10 double crochet, and the top one ended up being 6 in total. I think they look absolutely amazing. They really, really stand out. And that's roughly what the crochet hook is going to kind of look like. I wanted that little top piece to make sure that those top bits of the hook were actually protected. Next, what I did was I stitched these onto that inside panel, just using a darning needle and that same copper wool. So nothing using anything special, just stitching them on and just eyeballing where they go. And here are the 2 finished panels. I am absolutely made up with the way they've come out. They actually look better than I thought they were going to look. So what I need to do now is I need to stitch that inside panel onto the outside panel. Now, I'm not going to use wool to do this. I'm actually going to use thread to do this. I feel like that will kind of come across as invisible. And then I also need to stitch the zipper. Now, the zipper that I've got is a 10-inch zipper. And I'm not sure if this is going to fully go on. I'm going to try it and just see. It might not work, and if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to need to buy a larger zipper, and we'll just see how it goes. So I've stitched this together now. So what I've done is I've stitched down the middle, and I've stitched at the top and at the bottom, because what I want to do is I want to put a piece of cardboard in each section. I've also stitched the zip. Now this took absolutely forever. I was trying to save money with this project. One of the goals for me this year is to spend less money and just try and think about what I actually have before I go and spend something. So the zippers that I have are just standard 12-inch zippers, the kind of things that you just have in the house. and I went to try and put it in this, and unfortunately this needed a 14-inch zipper. So I had to order some and I had to wait a few days, but that's okay. Then I tried to sew it in and it just wasn't lining up. So I literally did it like this side, and then I matched it up with that side. Then I zipped down there, and then I stitched down there. So it was a little bit of trial and error trying to get this zip actually in. So what I thought I'd do is I'd show you how I'm going to put the cardboard to just make this little case a little bit more stiff. What you're going to need is the side of a cereal box. That will just make that a little bit rigid. So to be honest with you, I'm not really going to be doing this like super precise. I am just going to sketch and sort of see roughly where I need this to be. I want it to have a bit of a curved corner. And I'm going to cut that out. Okay, so I've cut one piece out. Let's see if it fits or if I need to do any alterations. Now, there we go, that fits in perfectly. So again, I've stitched down the middle, so that cardboard is not going to be sliding over to the other side. So let me grab the other piece and we'll get that bit cut out. There we go. So that is just giving that little case a little bit of stiffness. So now I've got my needle and thread again. I am just going to stitch this down the side, stitch down that side, and then it's going to be complete and we can put in our little crochet pieces and it'll all be all sorted. So here is the finished case. I am absolutely made up with this. It makes me so happy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but it's exactly what I need. These colours just remind me of autumn. It reminds me of a Halloween jumper, and every time I look at it, it just makes me so, so happy. So here it is when it's laid flat. I think it's really good as well because having a little boy and having sharp objects, having a safe place to keep everything is really, really important. Now, before, this is what I was using, this little patch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just popping these little bits and bobs into my case. So here is where my scissors are going to live. I've got some of my prim hooks as well that I always tend to use. That's also a 5, so I'm going to throw that side. This one is 4.5. And then that's my 3. Here's my 4. I've got a little tiny one here. It's another little 3. I also got these stitch markers off my friend Liz for Christmas, and I've purposely haven't opened the packet because I was waiting till I could put them into here. How gorgeous is that? And I love the fact that they come on this little ring. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? They're from Sostrine Green. So I'm going to thread that through here. So I've got my little bits and bobs. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here on this video and put every single pin into here, but that is basically what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to have some few little pins, or I might just keep, I don't know if I want to get rid of this, because this has just been so trusty to me. I don't know whether you're like me, but I get really attached to objects. I get very, very attached to objects, and they make me very, very happy. So for the time being, I'm just going to shove that little patch of pins into there. So there you have it, a handmade crochet case, yarn from my yarn stash, cardboard to make it stiff from a cereal box, and the only new thing that I bought was the zipper. And I'm absolutely made up with this. So now when I throw this into my bag, all of my crochet stuff will be in the same place. So thank you so much for watching this and seeing my little case come to life. I'm absolutely made up with it, and I can't wait to now have this safe space to keep all of my little pieces. I can throw that into my backpack when I'm going to work. I can throw it into my wool bag and I'll know all my little bits and bobs are all safely packed in that neat little case. Thank you so much for watching the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I will see you in the next video.